With this video, we will be doing Nicki Minaj finally respond to Meg Thee Stallion. And if you want to help this channel and the content that we're making, please help support our merchandise. The link is in the description. If you didn't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Try and get the channel to grow. And the only way we're going to do this if you like, share, and comment on the content. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go. Chi, get the yayo.
Get the yayo.
Now, what's going on with you today? Hope you're
poppin'?
doing good. Thank you for joining me. Nicki Minaj has officially responded to Megan Thee Stallion. Now, Nicki Minaj versus Megan Thee Stallion. I feel like this is the only thing people have been talking about for the last 48 hours. I'm sure you might have heard or seen something about this, but just in case you're not in the loop, the other day, Megan Thee Stallion, she dropped a record titled Hiss, where she was throwing some shots at Nicki Minaj. Now, she didn't mention Nicki.
Throwing shots at Nicki Minaj. She do shots at everybody.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's saying like Meg was on her Cat Williams.
She pulled the blicky out and was like, just started spraying.
Everyone get a shot.
Everybody bust.
By name, she did, however, say this: "These O's don't be mad at Megan, these O's mad at Megan's Law." And that line was, of course, a reference to Nicki Minaj's husband, who at the age of 16 got accused of baping another 16-year-old girl. He eventually got convicted for this crime and served a couple years in prison for it. And by the way, yes, obviously he did it. I thought you guys would understand why I said allegedly, even though I said allegedly in my last video. We all know he did it because he was convicted. It's just a way for me to protect myself, guys, okay? Anyway, now Megan's Law specifically, like we went over in the last video, it's a federal law that requires the release of relevant information to protect the public from sexually violent offenders. And Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, is a sexually violent offender because
I knew I couldn't be the only one that didn't know what that was. Cause I asked somebody else, I'm like, yo, you know about Megan's Law? And they said no, and I had to explain it to them. But that was like, because she put in that song, now a lot of people actually know what that Megan's Law is. It's gonna be a household name like Amber Alert. Like everyone knows the Amber Alert. Now everyone knows the Megan the Law because of Megan.
They just regenerated it in the population.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the time that it moves way faster now.
Yeah, a lot faster.
He baped someone at the age of 16. So essentially Meg dropped this line as a way to put the focus on Nicki's family. And it worked in the end because, you know, she dropped a pretty clever line in a song where she didn't really name drop Nicki at all. And she dropped this line that literally, it's literally called Megan's Law, which is the crazy part, right? At the same time, she managed to undermine her enemy, in this case, Nicki Minaj, while throwing some shots at her, not directly, but by hitting on one of her pain points, which is her family, i.e. her husband. And you know what they say, right? If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Now, in this case right here, Nicki Minaj didn't let it fly because obviously she knew that it applied to her husband. Gotta give it up to Megan because honestly, she was very stratetic with this line. Now, the aftermath of this Hiss record by Megan Thee Stallion.
It's like one of them, stop playing with me.
That was the hardest line in the whole song.
Yeah.
Was that once you find out what Megan Law is, you're like, whoa, because her name is Megan. So it's really like, whoa.
Yeah, it was like a hell of a double entendre.
Was that Nicki Minaj ended up going into a frenzy. She absolutely went off on Megan on social media, said a whole bunch of things, previewed a record, which she eventually dropped. We'll get to that in a second. She was on that IG live, absolutely just going off on Megan. She made some comments about Megan Thee Stallion, you know, lying on her dead mother. That was definitely one of the focal points of Nicki's response. She doubled, tripled, actually quadrupled down on social media and just, I mean, Nicki was going crazy. Now, as this whole thing was going on, the question a lot of us had was, how about that diss track, Nicki?
How about that diss track?
Bigfoot on that IG live. Right. She wasn't dropping it. Instead, she was on social media going off on Meg. So how about that diss track, we said. And I guess Nicki Minaj decided to listen to us because she officially dropped it last night. Now, the record is titled
And we was having a discussion with somebody yesterday. I guess the people in the comment section, the best way to put it. Then we was having conversations after reading different stuff in the comment section. A lot of people was like, a lot of people was saying, why did she drop the same song that she basically was talking about the whole time on Instagram for the last 40 hours that she was talking about on Twitter on. And I was like, basically it was smart marketing. She was marketing the song before it first came out. And then when you notice when the song came out, I showed you later on Instagram that it went #1 in 31 different countries. countries. That song went internationally. I don't think people understand that, because in the comment section, a lot of people were saying that it was trash, and I was like, look at the impact that it was in all different countries. People was listening to this song, and it was #1. So the song was real impactful, and the song was that impactful because she was marketing the song for 48 hours on social media before it came on. So when it dropped, everybody wanted to hear the song. So to me, it was smart marketing. It reminded me something that 6ix9ine would have did, something that 50 Cent would have did. They
antagonizing you
to get the marketing up. So when people dropped, and it went crazy when it came out.
Sense.
Yeah, she's smart. They're not even getting the game. She's playing chess while they're playing checkers. Facts.
Titled Bigfoot, and it's essentially a combination of all of her tweets and everything she said on Instagram Live in record form. So I want to take a look at the lyrics to the song. Let's actually go through.
I feel like that's why people feel like it might not have hit as hard,
because they heard the stuff already,
because they heard the content or certain segments of what she was saying,
right? So
the shock value,
right,
necessarily was gone,
right?
But the numbers,
right,
they shocking.
Yeah, because it's like, if you're not on the side of like doing what we do, you being a creator, it's not, you want to create stuff, but you want a lot of people listen to it. So a lot of this stuff really come down to marketing. You have to market the product. You can no longer just put stuff out and think it's going to do crazy numbers. You have to market it, and she did a smart marketing strategy before it came out. So I got why she did what she did up into the song, because when it came out, it was crazy. Time the song dropped, I called you 1 o'clock in the morning, like, yo, you got to come to the studio. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it would be an impactful song, because she marketed it up until it dropped.
Everything she said together, and let's see what's the verdict. Did Nicki come hard or nah? So she starts off the song by saying, your flow is such a bore, drinking a bottle of Henny through a straw. Bitch, you better stop the dialogue before I hit Carl and buy your catalog. Now this particular line right here is actually a reference to Carl Crawford, and that's the man who actually signed Megan Thee Stallion back in 2018 to 1501 Certified Entertainment, which is...
I know exactly who this guy is, but now it makes that bar hit harder. Like the Megan Law. Once you understand what Megan Law is, now that bar hit harder. Once you know who Carl is, because I know exactly who this guy is, now the bar hits harder. When she said, "I'll buy your catalog," because this is the guy who Meg Thee Stallion started off with, and she ended up trying to leaving him, and going another direction. But everybody know who this guy is. You know who he is?
Yeah.
Facts.
Which is the label that Megan used to be signed to. Megan Thee Stallion was actually in this 3-year-long legal dispute between herself and her old record label that did actually get settled a couple months ago, specifically in October 2023. Back in 2020, Meg decided to take legal action against 1501 because she claimed that the contract she signed with him was just so ridiculous to the point where she wanted to get out of this contract. The specific deal that Megan was in gave 1501, her record label, a 60% cut of her recording revenue along with 30% of her touring and merchandise income. So obviously now it's starting to make sense why she didn't want to be wrapped up in this contract, right?
That's how it is when somebody's like first mess with you and you're like basically a nobody. You're gonna get a contract like this, but when you become somebody, you start looking at like, oh, this is not fair. But at this point, then nobody else want to really deal with Meg. She didn't have no buzz, so these were the only people investing in her, taking a turn on her. So you're gonna get these type of terms when you're in that situation.
Man, with that deal, you're not working for yourself, you're working for them.
But she got with Rock Nation, and Rock Nation looked over this contract, was like, yo,
yeah, we gonna fix that.
And they did.
Meg was getting robbed. That's what it is, right? Meg, just like every single young artist out there who signs too early, got screwed. And she gathered her legal team a couple years ago and really tried to get out of this contract.
It's like right now, somebody came to us right now. It's like, yo, Trey TV, we got a deal for you. These are the terms. We probably gonna take it. And it's probably gonna be bad terms, but it's like, yo, you don't want us offering. You don't want us trying to invest into what we got going on. So we might take a bad deal. You know what I'm saying? And it's just how they go because they know you need the bread. So they be like, yo, we're gonna give you this bad deal, but we're gonna give you $150,000 up front. You just looking like, I need that 150 right now.
Something with that.
I ain't even worried about this shitty contract, but I do need that 150 right now. And that's how they get you.
Yeah, straight up.
contract, and she succeeded, right? They split allegedly amicably a couple months ago, and now Megan Thee Stallion, as far as we know, is a free agent. So she's independent. So this line that Nicki dropped is a reference to Carl Crawford, who's the owner of this record label that Megan Thee Stallion filed a lawsuit against. So that's what she means when she says, for a hit Carl and buy your catalog. By the way, if you made it this far and you're enjoying this breakdown, I would definitely appreciate you showing me some love by liking this video. Thank you. On this next line, Nicki says, how you F your mother man when she died. I don't know what she's talking about. That sounds very messy. On this next line, she says, how you going...
I had to look that up. Meg might actually be independent, like he's saying, because you know, with like we could tell on the reaction side, what is independent or not by if you can monetize it or not. You feel what I'm saying? People that's in labels, you can't really do nothing. We just did the his song, and I just looked at it like that song is being monetized, so that means it's not under a big label. So he might be on to something. She might be actually independent, because we did the Nicki Minaj diss song, and because I thought because it was a freestyle that was something that's not copywriting, because it's something that's not gonna be on the album. But it got struck with copyright strikes immediately. Like you could play it, but you can't monetize it. Type of ish. But with his, you could. So she might actually be
doing her thing,
independent,
straight up.
On Gayle King and Can't Cry, ciao, bye. Bigfoot, but you still a small fry. Swearing on your dead mother when you lie. So the Gayle King line is a reference to that interview that Megan Thee Stallion did back in April 2022, where she was, you know, talking about the shooting involving Tory Lanez, and she was kind of, or it looks like she was shedding tears.
And all I hear is this man screaming, he said, dance. And he started shooting, and I'm just like, oh my God.
No. That's not funny, but did you ever see Goodfellas?
Yes, I did.
Remember he was shooting at his foot, and he was like, dance. But it just remind me of that. You know what I'm saying? When I heard that.
I'm old enough that I can recollect. That's why I was like, damn.
That's Goodfellas. We know Goodfellas.
No living being should ever eat processed food for every single meal of their life. Good.
So Megan Thee Stallion did get a lot of criticism for this particular interview, because a lot of people felt like she wasn't really, you know, coming across as very truthful about the situation. And honestly, this interview, in my opinion, didn't really paint Megan Thee Stallion in the best light. But that doesn't really matter now.
It really doesn't matter, but everyone felt that way. You know, we've been reacting to certain interviews, and we're like, yo, this person shouldn't have did this interview. She should have stayed away from it. It didn't help. Actually made them look worse than they probably thought coming into the interview. That's the same thing with Megan Thee Stallion. You just saying some stuff that we just knew that wasn't true. Like on there, she was saying Tory didn't smash. When we all seen pictures of them at the award show, Tory got his hands up, she got the ass on him. We niggas, we know what that means. You know what I'm saying? We can read in between the lines of some female doing that. You're not just doing that. So with just certain stuff that didn't make her look good in that interview, and I don't think she probably should have did that interview. Hindsight is always 2020, and I know looking back, she probably wished I didn't do that interview. Only person that got something out of that was Gayle King.
Yeah.
That's why we know her name.
Yeah, she don't lose.
Because, you know, Tory did end up getting 10. So, on his first verse, she says, hey, yo, this little begging whore talking about Megan's Law. For a free beat, you can hit Megan Raw. If you a ghostwriter, partying Megan Jaw.
See, and that was another bar when I first heard it, because when we react to stuff, it's our first time hearing the actual song, so everything's not going to connect on the first hear. But that is even tougher when they do it in the comments. Like, yo, she talking about party. Then it's like, oh, party, like a party in her mouth, and then party the boyfriend. A double entendre. That right there was a hard bar.
Yeah, that was hard. These bars was hitting.
Yeah. Especially when the song first started off. Like that first section when the song go off.
Yeah, the first section.
That's the hardest part of the song to me. To me.
Shots thrown, but I still ain't letting Megan score. She continues and says, bad bitch, she like 6 foot. I call her Bigfoot. This bitch fell off. I said, get up on your good foot. Can't.
I think that's the toughest bar, because she got shot in the foot, and then she said, I told her get up on the good foot. And that's the song. No, somebody got a song, get up on the good foot.
Oh, on the good foot. That's some James Brown type.
James Brown, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made that bar even land too, which I thought was tough. Like I said, them first bars right, this section right here that he got on the screen, to me, this is the toughest part of the whole diss song.
And even lie, that part catchy as hell. So as you can see on that first part, you know, she made a reference to Megan's Law. Don't really think there's much for Nicki to say because, you know, she got to talk about her husband, and I'm sure she doesn't want to admit certain things about her man. And then on the next part, she says, for a free beat, you can hit Megan Raw. If you're a ghostwriter, party in Megan Jaw. That free beat, hit Megan Raw line. That's definitely a reference to, you know, something a lot of people have been saying about Megan, which is she is a... thought. Okay, people have been saying that. I didn't say that. People have been saying that because she's like dated a lot of people.
He said, "Yo, I ain't saying it. Let's be clear."
Yeah.
But people been saying that. The streets been talking, and that's what the streets is saying. Like
the streets,
the industry, specifically rappers, but other entertainers and famous people as well. Just a couple names and a couple examples of this: Moneybagg Yo, Tory Lanez. Yeah. She was allegedly dating Trey Songz.
That's the picture you were talking about. Because I just seen it. I put two and two together. I was like, oh, with the hands back. Yeah,
I'm a guy. Different. I know what that means.
Yeah. Yeah, with no hands.
We're not just comfortable. We're not just going to put ourselves. That could be a lawsuit. That's a charge.
Yeah, that's everything.
If you just on a female like this and she not cool with it.
And she not cool with it. Yeah,
right. That's and he look mad short in this picture. Where?
For a period of time after they were seen flirting in the club, and then she was also dating not a rapper but Romelu Lukaku. He's a Belgian football player.
Damn.
He plays as a striker in Italy at the moment, but he was seen, you know, holding hands with Megan Thee Stallion last year. Also, we have Jeezy, who was kind of, you know, spotted kissing Meg. Not sure how Jeezy of all people bagged Megan Thee Stallion anyway. And then we have Pardison Fontaine, which was her ex-boyfriend. He's actually been a writer in the music industry for years, and he's written records for Cardi B. And this is one of the reasons why Megan has like a lot of lines about other...
And they were trying to eat me up about that because I said something about that. They was like, what do you mean? Like, it's okay if guys do it, but if a girl do it, it's a problem. It's like, nah, I'm not saying it's a problem. Right. The good thing about this reaction channel, if you watch me, you got two guys in front of you, and we're giving you a guy perspective. You know what I'm saying? If it was two females talking about females, I'm going to listen to them because they females and they understand females. So you're not going to listen to two guys that's telling you how guys think.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy.
You know, she says niggas, claiming that they've slept with her. It's kind of like a reoccurring theme in her music that she constantly touches on, which honestly, that's like a female rapper thing, because slut shaming in general, that's something that most women have had some kind of experience with in their life, regardless of if they're an entertainer or famous or whatever. And also too, during the whole Tory Lanez versus Megan Thee Stallion ordeal, the slut shaming comments did get amplified from Meg, because as information was starting to pour in, we did find out that both Kelsey Nicole, Megan's, you know, best friend at the time, and Megan Thee Stallion herself, you know, they both did end up sleeping with Tory Lanez. So Nicki Minaj, in other words, she's saying it's a free-for-all when it comes to Meg, because anyone can hit. That's what she's saying. So Nicki is...
It's like, to guys, we look at it down, we just assume that's girl code. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, that's your friend. A lot of females will just keep that as girl code. Like, nah, you talk to my friend. I'm not messing with you. I'm not dealing with you. But there are females that don't care that you deal with their friend. They'll keep it on the low for your friend and all that type of stuff. So it's just, what type of female are you? Because some is with it. Some is definitely not with it. It just, I think it depends on how you was raised.
Yeah, just you feel me? At that point.
Yeah.
In other words, she is slut shaming Megan Thee Stallion on this particular line. Now, this is actually important because Nicki has in the past actually been accused of slut shaming women in general, but specifically sex workers. Back in 2018, a couple weeks before she dropped Queen, Nicki made some comments about women who are sex workers in an interview. And she did this after she kind of opened up about her image in this interview. And Nicki was essentially explaining that she was worried about how her persona, you know, her selling sex appeal, affects other women who are watching her sell this image to the world. And Nicki was saying that it makes her sad as a woman that modern day prostitutes exist. Kind of funny because it sounds like something that would be said by a person who runs like a red pill channel. But anyway, so let's actually check out this interview and let's see what Nicki Minaj said. So Nicki, from this 2018 interview, she said the following: I love being sexy. I'm never gonna stop being an exhibitionist, but it too has had consequences she didn't anticipate. The article says. The article then says one of her messages on the new album, she says, is it being okay to keep your legs closed. And then Nicki says, I don't really know how to say that without being offensive. And then this is the part that Nicki got a lot of backlash for. She said, maybe I was being naive, but I didn't realize how many girls were modern day prostitutes. She continues and says, whether you're a stripper or whether you're an Instagram girl, these girls are so beautiful and they have so much to offer. But I started finding out that you give them a couple $1,000s and you can have sex with them. I was like, yikes. It's just sad that they don't know their worth. It makes me sad as a woman, and it makes me sad that maybe I've contributed to that in some way. Nicki.
I don't think Nicki Minaj could be contributed to that in no way. It just, I think what contributed to it is times being hard, and people having responsibilities, and people having kids, and people just trying to eat, because it's not easy for people out here. So people are just trying to make it by any means, and if that's a means to make it, then people are just taking it. I look at the same thing as guys selling drugs. Like anything somebody got to sell, in a day and a type situation, they probably gonna sell it. So I don't blame it to nothing more than just times being hard and people trying to make it.
And people would say the easy way out, but there's really no easy way out.
Yeah, nah, hell no.
Everything takes something out of you.
Yeah, facts.
As a woman, and it makes me sad that maybe I've contributed to that in some way. Nicki then continues on the interview and says, but in a lot of ways, I don't know if I'm doing the same thing they're doing because I'm selling sex appeal. So I can't look down on these girls. I may not be having sex with people, but I'm still selling sex appeal. And then the interviewers,
it's really nothing selling stuff with sex appeal. And the way Nicki is looked at from my perspective is she's been in the industry for a long time, and you don't look at Nicki as someone that got ran through the industry. Right. You know what I'm saying? So even though she's been selling sex appeal, there's nothing wrong with that, because we like what's coming out of that. The girls just looking sexy and looking appealing. Us as guys, we enjoy that. But we don't look at Nicki as what he said about Meg as he would consider a thought. No one looks at Meg in that light. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I don't think it's a difference in saying feeling like you had some type of influence. If you say selling sex appeal, that's one thing, but you're not selling sex.
Yeah, that's not what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with selling sex appeal. I don't never remember ever in my life seeing Nicki and thinking that she was underdressed. Right. I don't never remember that. You know what I'm saying? So
it's always been like she's always had like a limit to her. What she'll reveal. Yeah, so. But I've seen her come out. Like, remember the one concert we seen her come out? She was all covered up, big old thing. But then when she took it off, you know what I'm saying? She still gave you that sex appeal. But like,
it wasn't overly too much. We see a lot. Worse. Let's keep it.
Says, well, sex and sex appeal aren't the same thing. Nicki responds by saying, that's true, but I just don't know if girls who look up to me think that when I'm posting a sexy picture, I'm actually the antithesis of all that. I'm more of like the snobby girl, like the what type of girl, and I want girls to be like that. I'd rather you be called snobby or a bitch or conceited. I'd rather you be called that than easy and a hoe and a slut. So this is something that Nicki got backlash for a couple years ago, and then now the same thing is kind of happening because she did put up a tweet where she quoted a line from the diss before it came out on Twitter, and then a lot of people.
And that's why, like, it don't matter what you say when you just on that level with Nicki, it's gonna be received as backlash. I don't see nothing in there that should have been perceived as backlash, and I don't understand how she perceived backlash. But it's like it don't matter what you say, people take a word here and there and turn it.
Yeah, they're gonna turn it into what they want to turn it into.
Yeah, but from what I heard, what was the backlash?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because she's standing on her 10 toes anyway. She don't give a damn.
She just saying, "Yo, I represent sex appeal, not being a thought." It's a difference.
Or saying, hey, you know, how come you're slut shaming another woman? Now, continuing with the song, later on the record, Nicki says, trying to steal the sauce. I said, get up out my cookbook, but really I'm a sweet pie, PRTTY, but I'm PETTY.
And even that bar landed heavy. Cause I know she was saying pretty and petty. Shout out to the comment section. It's like, yo, that's her husband's last name. I'm like, oh, hits even harder.
It's even harder.
Facts.
Now, still in the sauce line, that's obviously a reference to Nicki Minaj kind of laying out the blueprint for all the female rappers who are popping today, including Megan Thee Stallion, to essentially steal the sauce. She provided the formula, and that's a fact. And there's been an entire generation of female rappers who've benefited from Nicki's formula, right? Nicki later continues on a song and says, why did you lie about your lipo? Effing your best friend man is crazy. You the type, though. That's obviously a reference to Megan Thee Stallion sleeping with Tory Lanez when Kelsey Nicole was dating Tory Lanez at the time. She then says, you was lying to the queen, then you went lying to the king. Gail, that 30-year-old T, so stale. Kylie kicked you out and made you stumble to the car bar.
Now, that was a tough line. When we first did the reaction yesterday, I didn't catch that bar all the way when she said Kylie had you stumble to the car. Because you know that whole shooting was right before that party. Megan was there acting drunk. She told her to leave, and a short time after is when the shooting happened. So when I heard it back for the second time, I was like, yo, that was tough. I wish I would have caught that on the reaction. Because that was a tough bar. Because she was stumbling out on it. It's crazy.
I need a good alcohol bar. Roman, wait, that was the bar. That Kylie Jenner bar, that's a reference to Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, Kelsey Nicole being at Kylie Jenner's house and then leaving later. And then she says, like a bodybuilder, I keep raising the bar. If you get shot with no scar. This little piggy toxic, someone adopted.
That was a tough line. Everybody been asking that. Like, where's the scar? Like, why is there no scar for somebody that?
Yeah, it should be something. A hole.
Something. It's like a crazy situation.
Yeah.
And then she later continues and says, shit, it'll get dark like chocolate. I'm about to get up in your ass, bitch. Clench. Yeah, sort of like French. I don't know what she's saying. I think she's just rapping for the sake of rapping on this part. And then Nicki continues and says, they got you all up in them Grammys, but your flow still a no. What a fiasco, Lupe. Future made you pay. Now that Future line, that's a reference to Future allegedly, according to Nicki Minaj, making Megan Thee Stallion pay $250, okay, $250,000 for a
my money.
She later continues and says she want to party with the baby while rubbing on Tory toupee. I guess she needed money bags for them Trey songs.
Dang, she put all three of her niggas in one line. I was like, she want to party with the baby while rubbing on Tory. That's crazy.
She Jeezy, Carl made her crawl for it. Oh, okay. That part's kind of cold. I can't even lie. She literally managed to include all the people that she dated within.
That was tough. Within one. She G-Eazy, Carl made her. That was tough.
One little, literally 2 lines. That's crazy. And then she made a metaphor by saying she Jeezy, essentially saying that Megan is easy to bag. You know, she said money bag. Kind of clever. And then Carl made her crawl for it. Carl Crawford.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube. And
exclusive
access to all things VIP.
Yeah. She was firing off, bro. She was firing off.
Crawford the boxer.
No, she's talking about the
yeah, but she also playing off it like Crawford.
Yeah.
Nicki continues and says, yo, why the F they poke the monster? Effing with Nicki this year, ho, I'm coming like a pun star. She continues and says, she just mad that no nigga ever loved her. No nigga gonna stand 10 toes behind her. Is it my fault I got good vagina? Why the F is you humping on a minor? Cause you was lying on your dead mama. And then she says, on your dead mama, on your dead mama, lying on your dead mama. And then we finally get to the outro where she's straight up talking. It's literally like a voice memo. I'm not sure why she included that in a diss track, but she says, now listen up, Bigfoot. You know I got a lot of tea. I went easy on you. You know, whenever I meet a woman that would F her best friend's man, let your friend talk about your ex-best friend's baby on the internet. I know that they have a very...
If a female do that, us as guys know, no, she's not to be trusted.
At all.
If you're doing that to your best friend, what do I think you're going to do to me?
Yeah, at all.
Evil spirit. I don't think you want the next installment of this song. I know it's the most attention you've ever gotten. One flow ho, but trust me, if you don't apologize to your mama in 24 hours, shit gonna get uglier than Ken Barbie, okay? Don't play. And also, I'd like to say to my supporters, I love you. May God bless you. You're amazing. All the good pussy y'all them too, yes. But I'm very serious, ho. The things that you've lied about, even pertaining to your mom, you don't want them out, okay? Now, since you think it's funny to speak about people's families, we'll all join in. We'll all play the reindeer games soon as your new nose heals. And as soon as...
Reindeer games soon as your new nose heals? That's crazy.
And then she ends it by saying, well, let's leave that for the second installment.
Brr.
Now, the verdict is that this is definitely one of the most underwhelming diss tracks I've ever heard. I actually cannot believe that Nicki Minaj decided to release this as a response to Megan Thee Stallion, because what in the world? Honestly, this entire...
I mean, she playing chess while y'all playing checkers. I get exactly what she doing. She's setting niggas up. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't a diss track. That was just a little jab. That wasn't a haymaker. Why do you think that was a haymaker? We all know Nicki. We've been around Nicki. Finder. That was just a little.
Yeah, you close.
Take the bait.
Yeah.
That was one of those. You know, like
drop your hands.
You know, like Floyd Mayweather when he fighting you, right? Yeah. He's baiting you to swing a punch. So time he swing, he gonna counter the shit out of you.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
That's what that was. A little reach finder.
Take the bait.
How close are you?
I hope the bait is taken. I want the bait to be taken. You know what I'm saying?
Follow up.
The song doesn't really sound all that serious. Like, I don't think Nicki actually tried, is what I'm saying. Because first of all, like, did anybody actually mix this song? Because it doesn't really sound mixed to me. I'm really just like confused at the approach she took here. Because if you're gonna respond, you gotta do it in the right way, and I feel like this was not the right way.
Not the right way. That song went #1 in 31 countries. Is there any better? What else are you trying to
get? What other way do you want? 31.
#1 in 31 countries. What else? You don't get it.
Countries.
Not the U.S. Countries. Internationally.
Yeah. Especially considering the fact that Nicki Minaj actually has a status to live up to. Like, this is the same woman who dropped that Monster.
Going #1.
31 countries.
Is living up to it.
That's living up to the status.
Fuck.
Let's get it done.
Like, is this the same person? Because I can't tell if this is the same person. Like, I thought Nicki would come with an actual diss track that's, like, on point. But then she goes ahead and drops this, like... This is like so all over the place. It is so far from what Nicki Minaj is actually capable of doing. But then again, maybe this is all that Nicki is capable of doing at the moment. This is so hard to understand because what is this diss track? What? Honestly, I don't really think there's much to say here. Megan Thee Stallion dropped.
I'm glad the general public is saying what the general public is saying. Because I know right now, Nicki's somewhere pissed off. That second installment. Listen here. I could be wrong.
It's gonna be one
but I know I'm not wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Gonna be one or
that
the other.
Second installment is gonna be like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Real talk.
I already know.
Dropped Hiss, where she dropped that Megan Law bar, and that led to Nicki Minaj going off on Megan Thee Stallion for like 48 hours straight. We were all anticipating the diss that she was about to drop, and this is the result. I think we have a pretty clear winner here, right? It looks like Megan Thee Stallion won this beef. I mean, looks.
How did she win the beef? It just started.
It just started. We can't call beefs over because you shot one. You shot one. Like, nah.
It's just started.
This is just the beginning.
That's it.
What we think? Meg don't have nothing to say?
It's like, yo, it's like playing football, right? It's 4 quarters.
Yeah.
And if you think somebody won the first quarter, you're like, oh, the game's over. Yo, we still got 3 more quarters to play.
3 more quarters.
Facts.
It's time.
Very strange turn of events, but I guess this is what Nicki Minaj was capable of dropping at the moment. I just don't see how this diss track right here is going to help Nicki's legacy. Cause she...
Watch this. Watch I get him right. He's like, how's this diss track going to help Nicki legacy? But you're doing a whole 20-minute video on it.
Got him.
He's always been held in such high regard, and it's obviously rightfully so because Nicki Minaj has an extensive track record of being an amazing rapper, but what she produced here doesn't sound like something an amazing rapper would produce.
It doesn't sound like nothing from amazing rapper do. I'm an editor. I edit footage. I could tell you from him doing all his editing he did in here, this took him like 3 to 4 hours just to make us this video that's right here. But it didn't have a hit, but you took 3 to 4 hours out of your time. When you got 24 hours in a day, you took at least 4 of them out just to do this, just to talk shit, make it make sense.
I mean, it doesn't even sound like Nicki Minaj really tried here. That's the sad part. And I can't really use the fact that she didn't try as a cop-out because, you know, had Megan Thee Stallion, let's say, dropped a diss record and it was this low quality, none of us would be on here talking about, oh, you know, Megan Thee Stallion didn't try. So it doesn't matter that she dropped a diss record that was whack. At the end of the day, in this case, you're going to get judged based off of what you put out. And Nicki put out a whack diss track, man. I'm literally just like so confused. I mean... What happened? What happened? Nicki, what happened? Anyway, Nicki Minaj finally responds to Megan Thee Stallion. Before you leave, can you do me a favor and drop a like on this video? You did after all make it this far, so if you enjoyed the video, why not drop a like?
This is Lamar Wilson here representing Ghetto Action News Network _. all lowercases.
No spaces.
And you can find us on Facebook. And when you do, follow the page, like the page, share the page, and come back. All right, I'm going to get right on into this. Nicki Minaj drops her response disc.
Yeah.
And this whole footage here was about basically that, the interaction back and forth between her and Meg Thee Stallion. And right now, it's at the end of this video, it feels like that people think things are over, and I feel like things are just heating up.
They're just getting started.
I think this is going to be a tough little back and forth. It already has started out to be that way because Megan came out swinging, straight up, and she was swinging without no guard. She was pop, 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 just hitting everybody, hitting everything. And so the response back from Nicki came in a timely manner, and I'm just waiting to hear what Megan has to say because I know she's not going to just sit back and say nothing. What do you think about this?
I think this is dope what's going on in hip-hop. Me, you just was talking before we recorded this video. This is what's going on right now, and in music is the biggest thing that's going on in music. If you take this away from music right now, there's nothing going on. Ooh, so I'm glad that they going through their stuff. I know they just keep it hip hop. It's just friendly competition. We all here for the friendly competition. Nobody want to see Meg and Nicki really fight. We want y'all to do this on wax, on bars, and let the best lyricist, best music maker win. And we here for all that. We don't want to see the catty stuff. We don't want to see Entourage getting involved. That's not what we here for. We just here to want to hear some good music because unfortunately right now in America music is down and we miss bars. And Meg gave us some bars. Nicki give us some bars, and me and you, we come from that cloth. We want to hear some bars, and they're giving us bars. So I like what's going on. Can't wait till Nicki drop another installment. I know Meg probably gonna drop something else. And I'm probably sure both of these females in the studio right now, cooking something up. And I can't wait to drop. But until then, it's your boy Trey TV, and I'm out.